Well, hello everyone. It's Joni here at Joni's Journals. How are you? Welcome and welcome back to my subscribers, my new subscribers, and everyone. I hope you enjoyed my video from yesterday. I showed you my tags. Whoops, I'm just trying to grab a hold of them. My tags 1, 2, and 3. This is number 1, this was number 2, and this was number 3. If you'd like more of a walkthrough and you haven't seen it yet, please go over and check that video out. It did come out yesterday. I'm just looking for someplace to put these. But what I thought we would do today, I was playing with the freebies, the Craftly Haul freebies that Tracy has on her website. And if I could actually get a hold of this, and they are some photo cards. This is the third photo. I've already cut the page apart. You can see the difference. I printed this one on regular cardstock, and I've begun to use my photo quality Epson paper. You can see there is quite a big difference. Here, I'll show you this one. In the difference in the quality of the images that you get. I'm hoping you can see the difference. So I printed these out on the photo quality paper. But this one, along with the rest, I had printed on regular cardstock. And when I looked at the images this morning, I didn't know if I would be able to do this, but it did work out well. And now that I've reprinted, I thought that I might bring you along and show you how to do this. I have created a, cabinet card using the one image of the young lady, the pretty young lady who is supposed to be Dorothy Blakely, who is part of the the psychic investigators that come to help Rose and Jeffrey with their little perplexing problem at Craftly Hall. And what I did was I cut her out and I made her into my own version of a cabinet card. So what I thought I would do today is I would bring you along and show you how I did this. So now what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go and I'm going to cut these out because I have an idea for this one as well. And I haven't really worked it out yet. You can see everything is sort of just laying here. But I did have an idea for how to do this one. And if I can get to it within a relatively decent amount of time, I don't want to keep going on and on about it. Maybe we'll play with his card, his photo as well. Okay, so let me go and cut these out and I will be right back. Okay, and we are back. Now, as you can see, I have cut out Little Miss Dorothy. And what I have also done is I have taken this section of the image and I have separated her from that, okay? And I have cut out the inside portion of this part of the frame. Oh my goodness, I just can't grab anything today. So what we have is we have this section, which is the middle, and we have this section, which is the frame. And yes, you can see mine is cut like this because I am dreadfully afraid of those little medical scalpels that people use to cut around the insides. My husband laughs at me because when I need something cut out that includes using that knife, I make him do it. But what I did, well, the reason that I did that and that I did this is because you can see I have a little frame around the outside of her picture. Okay, this may not be exactly what a real cabinet card looks like, but I thought that we could do it this way just for fun. The interior of this portion of the frame then becomes the decorative piece on the back, you know, like on a regular cabinet card where they have the, it's usually embossed, I stamped, where it says the name of the studio, and then it usually has some other little nonsense like where it's located down at the bottom. That is what we are going to use this portion for once we finish putting together our frame. Now, because I wanted the picture to look a little bit, I don't know, not just old, but maybe sort of faded, I originally took the image and I put down a piece of vellum over it. And that was just wonderful, and it worked out nicely as far as I was concerned. But what I didn't anticipate was that the frame, which I was going to place back down over the picture, wasn't going to fit exactly. And by that I mean, you know that you can't use a wet medium on vellum. You can't use your glue. I've never would even try to use a glue stick. I'm sure it might work because it's not wet, but I don't really love glue sticks. So what I used was my double-sided tape, which worked out perfectly for adhering the vellum to the photograph itself. But once I wanted to stick this down on top of the vellum and use the sticky tape so that I wouldn't have any bubbling in the vellum. The tape is wider than my now existing frame. So in order to remedy that situation, I do want to let you know that this was all done in about a 45-minute stance this morning while I was watching Nat Williams doing her Creep on June Day 5. And so, I don't know, I come up with these things and I'm like, oh, wow, I could try that. In order to remedy the situation for the sticky, double-sided tape, rather, I said, okay, well now, Joni, what are you going to do? You have a frame with sticky tape and no way to put it together because no matter what I would do, the sticky parts of the tape would always be sticky. So I said, well, let's get out a piece of laminate. Now, you may know that I recycle laminating sheets. I work with children who use manipulatives for communication, and we laminate them so that they are a little bit sturdier. So I took a piece of the recycled laminate and I said, all right, well, maybe I'm defeating the purpose, but now let's just put the laminate down to catch up the sticky, and then I will put the frame on top of that. And you know what? I kind of liked it because it made her look, let me get her over here, a little bit spookier. You know, I mean, this is Craftley Hall, and while I realize that the intention of this printable was for us to have a photograph of the psychic investigators to put into our case files or our journals, you don't have to use them that way. And since I am creating a journal, which is more of a recovery of information by the people who have bought the house 100 years later, I don't need to use these necessarily as my psychic investigators. I could use them as, say, Rose and Jeffrey as they got older and lived in the home. Or I could use them as the doctor and his wife, although the dress, the clothing style wouldn't really match the years that the story is taking place. But you could use them for whomever. You could use them as Ernest and Dorothy and Carl, or I may not do that. So having a little bit of a spookier image is just fine for me. So that is how our little cabinet card will ultimately go together. And so what I'm going to go and do now is I'm going to take my sticky back tape and I'm going to adhere it to my photo all the way around. And then I am going to lay my laminate over like so. And when I come back, because I'm going to pause the camera in order to do that, because working around this tripod can sometimes be a little bit fiddly, and it might be better if I just do the sticky do the sticky parts and then come back. When we come back, what I will do though, I'm not going to go too far ahead. We will adhere the laminate, okay, because I'm going to put the sticky on the photo, adhere the vellum. I'm going to put the sticky on the vellum, and when we come back, we will adhere the laminate and we will finish up with the frame, okay? And then the fun part starts. We will do, or I should say more fun. I shouldn't say that this isn't fun. Okay. We will create our little backing for our cabinet card. And depending on how long this video ultimately ends up to be, I have cut out our gentleman here, who could be Carl, he could be Ernest, he could be Jeffrey. What I did, as you know, I printed the pictures out twice, although maybe you don't know that. I didn't necessarily say it. I printed his photo out twice. And what I have done, again, in this case, I cut him out of the frame. Whoops, sorry I banged you. I cut him out of the frame. And I have an idea for how to create a cabinet card using him and his frame and some vellum. And what I might do is, once I've shown you how we create our little Dorothy or Rose, or it could even be Alice. Once we create Alice's frame, I will go ahead and I will start on this one. And then we can perhaps do this one today or during this video as well. Okay? So I'm going to go now and I'm going to do all the sticky stuff, and I'll be back with you in just a second. Okay? See you in a bit. Okay, so I have gone ahead and applied my double-sided tape, added my vellum, and then I have put another layer of double-sided tape. I was going to actually leave one of the little white pieces on to pull off with you so you wouldn't feel like I'm completely leaving you out of everything. And I'm really glad I didn't, because I had such a struggle trying to get the backing off of this tape that we could possibly have been here all day. Okay, so we have our vellum attached, which is stuck down with double-sided tape. I have added more double-sided tape, and now what we're going to do is we are going to apply the laminate. Whoops, I am so sorry. Okay, hang on. Let me get you straight again. Okay, I'm so sorry if I made you seasick. Okay, here is our laminate, which I am just going to dust off like so. And now I am just going to, I'm not even really going to worry about lining it up. I'm just going to randomly place it down onto the photo. First, I'm going to get that little black dust spot out. I'm just going to lay it down on our photo like so. So you can see she has gone from looking like this to being a little bit spookier. Let me dust this again. Okay, she's gotten a little bit spookier. Now, if you can cut this frame out better than I have, I did leave a little bit of a border around. You can see I've already inked the inside of the frame. Or if perhaps you want to create another frame, you could just, in all essence, add the vellum and not bother with the laminate, but because I don't want my laminate to my vellum to buckle, I just felt that this extra step would be perfectly okay. It will protect your photo, and it really doesn't take away. Let me just grab the photo and let me see if I can grab the laminate. The vellum. Adding the laminate doesn't really change the picture all that much. So it's up to you. If you can figure out a better way to do it, let me know in the comment box below, because maybe I could try that next time. All right. So we have our vellum and our laminate attached to our photo. Oh, and what I did do also, you can see the back of this one is white. I went ahead and adhered the photo to a piece of craft cardstock, because I didn't think about the fact that this photo paper is lovely to print on, but it's also a little bit of a lighter weight than the cardstock I normally would use. And so I wanted this to be a pretty hefty piece. I wanted it to feel and have the weight of a real cabinet card. So let's just cut around our laminate. I'm sorry if it's glaring, but I really can't help that. I am sorry. I need to see what I'm doing. Let me just cut all these edges off. Okay. And now we can apply our frame. We can use a wet medium. We're going to more than likely, I hope it will cooperate. We are going to use my, again, I want to call it teddy bear glue, my Barely Art glue, okay? So I'm going to grab my little photo frame here and decide where you can see there's a little edge that sticks out there. And where do I want that edge to be? And I think that it's perfectly fine on that side. All right, I'm going to take and I'm going to apply my glue, which hopefully will come out. Let's just see if we can clear that spout out a little. And I'm going to put my glue onto the back of my little frame here, which is a little bit flimsier than those of you that are brave with those little scalpels. Mine's a little bit flimsier than you brave people might have to deal with. But I'm just going to put the glue all the way around, like so, and get a little bit up there. All right, and then we're going to, where did I say we want that? We wanted that on this side. I am just going to lay my frame down on top of my laminate. And the laminate does give us a little bit of play, which is good, because I want this to be exactly in the right spot. If a little bit shows out on either side, you can go back and you can trim that. I'm not that fussy. Now you can see this is where my cut was, and this is why I don't mind doing things like that, because I can push that seam back together where I cut into my frame to cut out the inside of my frame, and it goes back almost seamlessly. Okay, so there we have what will be our little cabinet card. I hope you guys like that. Here's the other one that I made. Okay, you can see. All right, now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna push this down and make sure it's stuck really, really well. Okay, like so. And I have a little bit of an edge here, and I'm gonna see if maybe I can trim that back a little. That would be the laminate and the vellum that are sticking out on that side. I was gonna trim that up a bit without cutting too much into my frame. There we go. Oh, that was a lot to cut through. And let's see, do I have anything? I have a little bit of laminate sticking out here. I'm just going to see, you know what, that's not really, going to cut too well. Let's try to get up close there. Let me grab a hold of it. Okay. There we go. All right. There we go. We did that without too much damage. Okay. Now, let's take and let's ink our edges. Okay. Let's close up our glue. This is why the spout gets clogged, Joni. You really must remember to close up your glue. Oop. And if I wasn't blind, this would be, oh, there we go. Okay. All right, that's in there. Let's get rid of that. That was my little awl for removing my sticky back tape. And I think we're going to have to come back and we're going to have to do this one at a later date, okay? Or maybe I'll just put, like I said, put the whole thing together and then we can do the back together. I don't know. Let me see how it goes. All right. Let's ink around the edges of the front of our frame, like so that we can make it look old. I'm sorry if it's glaring. I'm trying to tilt it away from the light. Okay, and we'll ink those edges really, really well, like so. Try to get it to look a little bit grungy. Now, as I said, you can use this. You could just cut the photo. Tracy designed it in such a way that you could do it in any number of ways. You could just simply, let me grab it again, cut it out and flip it and make it a cabinet card on its own. But I just thought it would be fun to do just that little bit extra to it. Okay, now I'm gonna see, if you look on this, I did use white and I did use a stencil, and so I'm going to use the same stencil, but again, this is on craft stock. So let's see how it comes out. Okay, I think we've inked the front well enough. Let me just wipe away some of the fussy mussy that might be here. And I'm going to lay our little photo down. And I'm going to grab my stencil, which if you're interested is THMM173. It's wood grain and stars. And I just thought that, should we do stars? No, I don't want to do stars. Let's do our little wood image here. And I'm just going to push that in and I'm going to ink over my stencil using, this is ground espresso, which I think will work out really well considering we're inking onto craft stock. All right, let's see. Okay, all right, so that looks good. And then I'm just gonna turn it and I'm gonna kind of lay it so that maybe right up to the edge of the other stenciling we just did, to try to get it not to look too fussy. I think I like it a little bit better if I push the image up into what I did. Whoop. Okay. And let's stencil that like so. Oh, that works out pretty good. All right, and let's put it down here. And we'll just kind of blend our images together like so. And I am stenciling further into the frame than I need to, but I just want to make sure that it's covered. Okay, that's how I did that. You could use whatever kind of stencil you might have. If you have a flower or if you have some other image that you might like to use. Now, this is the part that we cut out of the photo frame. That's this part, okay, the base in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink around the edge like so. I keep watching the clock. We have a furniture delivery today, which is coming somewhere between 2 and 3. And I just want to make sure that I don't get interrupted. All right, now we have inked around the edge. Let's put that over there. And so what we're going to do now is we are going to lay our little title card down onto the back of our frame. And let's glue that down. I'm going to use my PVA glue. I have been using the rounded daubers, and they're not Tim Holtz, and they tend to sprinkle off. Whoops. They tend to, I don't know, fluff off. I'm not really, I stopped using them, but then I said, oh, let me give them another try, and I'm still not happy with them. Okay. All right. We have glue on the back of our little cabinet card, title page, and I'm just going to glue that down. I'm going to have to lift it up. Sorry, guys and gals, gang, my crafty gang. Just make sure that it's straight. Okay, straight enough. And now what we're going to do is we are going to grab a different stamp pad. I'm going to grab this one, which is potting soil. Actually, you know what? No, I can use the potting soil. I'm going to take this. Oh, gosh. This is the one that was sticky. Remember, guys? All right. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to grab this background stamp. This is a stamp that I've had for years, and it is by Graphic 45. It's called Floral Background Stamps, and I couldn't tell you where I got it. I think there's a number on it. I'll put the information in the description box below. Now, let's make sure. Okay, so, oh, look at that. We got the little indent, the outer portion and the little indent on the same side. Okay, I'm going to ink this up as well as I can. I've had it for years, and I honestly think that this might be the first time I've used it because it's dreadfully sticky. All right, I'm going to ink it up. And then I'm just going to turn the cabinet card on its side because I don't know, I just can't stamp correctly if I don't. And I am going to lay the image down, and I'm going to push really hard, and I'm going to hope that it takes the first time. All right. Now we have to peel it off. Okay. See, this is what happened on the back of this one. The image did not come out perfectly. I think it's because of all of the layers. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to ink up the corner, and I'm just going to touch it to the center here and see if I get a better impression. I did clean it off. All right, that's not too bad. Let's just see if I can get that little corner right there that's empty. Just going to push down there. All right. Well, that didn't come out too bad. All right, let's put that aside, and let's put the lid on that. I'll just push this over here. And then I am going to grab, these are some signature stamps that I bought. There was another set that I really wanted, and I didn't have the money for them. And they are a cheap little set. You've seen me use them before. I got them on Amazon, and then I cut them all up in an attempt to use them as use them for my intended purpose, which was as a signature stamp. They didn't come cut apart, and so I kind of mutilated them and cut them apart on my own. This one is just like a little logo, and I don't even know what it says, but it works out. Well, actually, let's see. It says Flora, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to ink it up using my archival ink in jet black. And I am going to do my best to center it. Again, I'm going to do this sideways. It's easier for me to judge where I'm putting things. And I am just going to lay it down, push it down a little, and hope that our image comes out relatively deep. Oh, not too bad. And pretty straight. Okay. And then I have this one, which is a signature. And I'm just going to put that across the bottom here. So again, I'm going to ink it up with my archival ink. Make sure I have it facing in the right direction. And I don't. Okay, it's supposed to go that way. And I am just going to put this down here at the bottom. Close my ink before I get it on myself. And push down. And there we go. It may look a little bit too fluffy for some of you. And by that I mean maybe the background is a little bit too busy. But I kind of like it. I'm kind of happy with it. And so there you go. There is our homemade cabinet card using the freebies from Tracy. This is the other page. The Tracy Fox Creative Craftly Haul freebie. You can get this on her website. It is free. If you haven't joined, please go over and do so. She has some really cool things. She did a video this morning. She has just put in some really awesome steampunky kind of birds. I can't wait to go over and get it myself. But yeah, go over and join. Okay, so this is the one that I made on my own with the not so wonderful print, which was done on regular cardstock. This is the one that we made together with the nicer image, printed out on the Epson photo paper. And here's the back of our little card. And so, yeah, there you go. All right, guys, I really hope you enjoyed that. I know we were talking about doing him, but I have a feeling that this video is way too long right now. So what I may just do is I may go and just do him, and I will show him in my next video because I do have scheduled releases. As you know, I was working on the Creep on June collab, and I've been doing the days, but I'm not showing my days until the day after the maker who makes for that day has made and shown everybody their make. I don't want to dull anybody's shine. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. So yeah, I will complete him and I will show him in our next, on one of my Creep on June daily video. But basically, just so that you know how it's going to be put together, I cut him out of the inside of his frame the same way that I cut hers out. And because I printed him twice, I'm just going to use this as my background, and I'm going to glue him down to the front like so. I'm going to add the vellum. I'm going to add my frame. I'm going to add the laminate. I don't have anything handy right now. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to take the other half of his image, which was this, because he came this way, and I am going to flip it over and add it to, let's grab him, the back, and then I'll do a little stamping on him as well. Okay, so that's how I'm going to put this one together, and I will show you him completed in another video that will probably be out in a few days, showing you my make for the Craft on June collab. Well, not my make. My day is May 26th, and I have been blown away by what Tracy did this morning by creating a tunnel book, and I had an idea for something, one of the makes I was going to make for my day, because I'm going to do an extravagant make, And then I have plans to make a make that anybody can do. And by extravagant, I say utilizing things that not everyone might have. But watching Tracy's video this morning, I now have a new idea about how I might make what I'm making. Okay? All right, guys, I'm going to send you lots of love and big hugs. And I'm going to ask you to please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. And I did get a bunch of comments on yesterday's videos, which I'm going to try to catch up with and answer back today. So yeah, I will link the calendar in the description box below. I will link the kit in the description box below. I will link the website in the description box below so you can go over and get your freebies. And what else? Well, and I'll link my Etsy and my Facebook and my Instagram and my Ko-fi. There really isn't anything on my Ko-fi. I did make one little thing. I'm still trying to figure out how to add things to Ko-fi because I don't know how I get paid. But you can buy me a coffee if you like what you've seen. All the support always helps. And yeah, okay, guys. Bye. Love, hugs. See you soon.